For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. Colonel Serafimov stood over a pile of documents brought from the secret archive of Denitsa. He had already seen just about everything during his long service, but this shook him. On the folder it read CIA Stargate Project Bulgaria. Captain Denitsa Stoyanova, now not just his colleague, but a trusted partner in every mission, sat down beside him. Her eyes ran quickly across the lines. There was a name mentioned there, one that carried a weight like thunder. Vanga. They tracked her, every dream, every prophecy. They even claimed to have detected anomalous magnetic fields around her home in Rupite. Denitsa whispered, "And this is only the beginning?" Serafimov replied, showing his wife another folder. Here it speaks of Donov, Madara, Tsarachina. But these files remain classified, which means there's something being kept hidden even from us. The documents indicated that, according to the CIA, Bulgaria was a crossroads of energy centers. Rila, Pirin, Perperikon, all of them marked on the maps as points where the veil between worlds was thinner. But the most unsettling document was a report from a Bulgarian astrophysicist who had secretly worked for Moscow in the 1970s. He described a nocturnal observation at the Rozhun Observatory, 3 luminous objects forming a triangle, at the center of which a circle of light appeared upon the wheat field. Serafimov shuddered. Frop circles. They knew they didn't come from England or the USA. They started here, in the Balkans. Denitsa looked at him. "Do you think Vanga knew about all this?" At that moment the lamps flickered. Out of the silence rose a strange sound, like whispers, like voices coming from elsewhere. Then, in one of the documents, the ink seemed to begin to glow. Words wrote themselves before their eyes. There, where the cross of Rila and Pirin meets, the gate shall open. Beware of those who seek to turn knowledge into a weapon. Beneath the signature stood only one name, Vanga. Serafimov and Denitsa were speechless. They already understood that the documents were not merely archives. They were a warning, and perhaps a call. Somewhere high in the mountains, the portal was waiting. The night was cold when Serafimov and Denitsa left Sofia. Their car crept along the road toward Rila, and in the trunk lay a sealed briefcase with the original CIA documents. They knew they were no longer alone. As soon as they left the city, 2 dark, windowed cars appeared in the rearview mirror. "They're following us," Denitsa said, her hand already gripping her pistol. "They're not just following us," Serafimov replied. "The Russians and the Americans have clearly learned that we've accessed the files. If the portal really exists, both sides will want to control it." They abandoned the car near Borovets and set out on foot into the mountain. The higher they climbed, the more intense the tension in the air became. The compass began to spin without direction, and their watches lagged behind by minutes. At the foot of Muzala, shrouded in mist, they came upon a strange clearing. The stones were arranged in a circle that at first glance seemed natural, but when Denitsa activated her magnetic field device, the needles went wild. This is it, the cross of Rila and Perrin. At that moment shadows emerged from the forest. Armed men, some shouting English commands, others Russian. Two groups surrounding the clearing, but pointing their weapons not at each other, but at them. "Colonel Serafimov!" shouted one of the English speakers. "Hand over the documents. This is an international operation." The Russian smiled and added, "Don't listen to them. This matter is ours. The portal is a strategic resource." Just then, the stones around them began to glow. The circle turned into a whirl of light. The men nearby stumbled back blinded. Denitsa grabbed Serafimov's hand. "We have no choice. We're going in." The two of them leapt into the radiance, carrying the briefcase of documents. The world around them vanished. The mountain, the agents, even the cold of the night. When they opened their eyes, they stood upon a stone terrace. Above them stretched a sky strewn with 3 moons, and in the distance shone a city of light. Serafimov squeezed his wife's hand tighter. "Vanga knew. She led us here," Denitsa whispered, her eyes full of the glow of the alien world. "The question is, why?" The luminous city in the distance drew them like a magnet. The air was heavy but not suffocating. It carried the scent of herbs and incense, as if the place itself were a temple. The silence was broken only by a faint ringing, like the soft echo of bells. As they stepped onto the stone bridge leading to the city, a figure appeared amidst the radiance. A woman's shadow, veiled in dark cloth. Her eyes could not be seen, but the voice was familiar. "I have been waiting for you. You are the chosen guardians." Serafimov froze. Denitsa shivered, but instinctively moved closer. You are Vanga." The shadow nodded. "Not I, but what remained after me. My mission on Earth has ended, but the truth must continue. You too have been chosen to carry it, not to reveal it, but to guard it from those who will try to turn it into a weapon." Around them the sky glowed even brighter. In the distance, 3 moons aligned into an equilateral triangle, and a beam of light fell upon the city. Vanga raised her hand, and from the light emerged an image, a map of the Balkans, crossed by lines connecting Rila, Pirin, Balintash, Madara, Sarachina. "This is the grid of power. You shall guard it. But remember, if anyone opens the portal without knowledge and without a pure heart, the world will fall into chaos." Serafimov clenched his jaw. "And if they try, the Americans, the Russians, whoever it may be." Vanga's shadow moved so close that time itself seemed to stop. "Then you must choose to pass the knowledge on to your daughters. They will be the next." Denitsa trembled. The faces of their 2 girls flashed through her mind. "Our children?" "Yes," Vanga said, "for your blood is already bound to the stars. That is both the price and the gift." The shadow began to fade. The distant city dissolved like a mirage, and before them the portal opened once more. It is time to return. The world awaits you, but you will never again be the same. The light enveloped them, and they once again found themselves in Rila on the same clearing. But the cave had vanished, and in their hands remained only the suitcase of documents. Serafimov and Denitsa looked at one another. Their eyes shone with a gentle radiance that no outsider could ever understand. They now carried not just a secret, but a legacy. Several weeks passed since Serafimov and Denitsa had returned from Rila. On the surface, life seemed to normalize. Work, school, family dinners. But in their home, small oddities began to occur, things that could not be explained away as coincidences. Their younger daughter, Denitsa, only 8 years old, began to have prophetic dreams and to draw otherworldly landscapes. One morning she described in detail a flood that would cover their neighborhood. 2 days later the storm came, and the street indeed turned into a river. The elder Denitsa, already a teenager, could sense the flight of birds. Once, while walking in the park, a flock of ravens descended over them. Denitsa raised her hand, and the birds simply scattered, as if following her invisible command. Denitsa grew worried. Is this what Vanga meant? That our children would be the next? Serafimov was silent, but his eyes held determination. Yes, and if so, it is our duty to protect them and help them understand their power. But no one else must know. At night, when all were asleep, he would open the suitcase of documents. Leafing through the pages now felt different. Between the lines, he began to notice hidden notes, diagrams that seemed to react to the children's presence. One evening Denitsa entered the room and placed her small palm upon a yellowed sheet. At that very moment, the ink glowed and new symbols appeared, ones that had never been there before. Daddy, they are whispering to me that this is a map to another place like Rila. Serafimov and Denitsa exchanged a heavy glance. They already understood the legacy entrusted to them was not theirs alone. Their daughters carried within themselves something deeper, a blood bond with the very knowledge of the stars. And no matter how much they wished to protect them, the new journey had already begun.